Hey, I'm Teryn. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down the costume design of Lovecraft Country's 8th episode, which is titled Jig-a-Bobo. I know I talk about the costume design of the show, but I also want to talk about the amazing music direction of the show as well. When Cruel Summer started playing in the opening and we see all these black people dressed formally, it definitely took me to a funeral. And then later on we see this is the funeral of Emmett Till. We see a multitude of colors and patterns in this scene, but the people closest to Dee are wearing dark colors and black, while Dee herself is wearing white. For me personally, growing up, I wore light colors to funerals. Children weren't typically supposed to wear dark colors or somber colors to funerals, so typically you wore lighter colors. You see that is hot. People are throwing up. If you've been to the Smithsonian National Museum of African American History and Culture in DC and have seen Emmett Till's casket, then you know how heartbreaking that was. So I can't imagine how the people that actually lived through and witnessed that, how they must have felt. Actually seeing his body must have been truly heartbreaking and also disturbing for people. Ruby is in a black dress and Tig is wearing a gray suit with a white shirt underneath. Montrose is also wearing a gray suit and he's wearing a brown hat. Ruby is also wearing a black hat. Ruby's black dress is perforated and there's also a gold pin on it. Letty's wearing a brown hat and a black and brown dress. The skirt portion of Letty's dress is gathered, and I feel like, to me, that shows she's trying to conceal a pregnancy. She's also wearing beige shoes. Dee is also wearing a black belt over this white lace dress. And I believe Dee is wearing black shoes.
She wears the same outfit for the entire episode with some small adjustments to shoes and accessories. To me, the white represents innocence, and the black belt and black Mary Janes represent fear. This is such a terrible thing for a child to have to experience.
Dee is outside of the arcade that she used to frequent with Bobo. She hears two girls laughing and eating ice cream. One girl is wearing a red dress and the other one is wearing a white shirt and blue shorts. The girl in the red dress waves to Dee and Dee picks up some rocks and starts throwing at them. Then we see Captain Lancaster and another cop show up to harass Dee, and Captain Lancaster puts a curse on Dee as well. Tig goes to meet Christina, who's wearing a burgundy dress, black shoes, and a black hat. I also wanted to point out the pattern of Tig's tie is kind of all over the place. It's a little bit disoriented, which he kind of is after finding out what his fate is going to be. Dee puts on a baseball cap, which we know is kind of like a security blanket for her, and she laces up her black Converse. William shows up in a brown suit, and the vest of the suit has like a red color on the back of it, again showing the magic. Christina's just wearing burgundy as well, so kind of showing they go hand in hand fashion wise as well. William is also wearing a light blue shirt underneath the suit. Ruby's wearing dark red nails and black undergarments. She decides to turn herself into Hilary Davenport again. Tig goes to Letty's house and notices the shoes outside, obviously realizing that Gia is there. Gia's hair is grown and she's wearing a middle part. Gia is wearing a black dress that has a white detail at the neckline as well. And I feel like it's a sheath dress from what we could see when she spoke to Letty for the first time. And there's a little white tie to it and it looks like it might be some type of crepe fabric. We go to Christina, who's wearing a white knitted shirt that is tucked into a mauve pleated skirt that meets just underneath the bust. It kind of reminds me of Carolina Herrera. Christina's wearing mauve lips as well. She has on a thick black eyeliner. She's wearing ivory kitten heels and talking on a gold phone, the opulence. Ruby has on yellow earrings and there's a brown belt cinching the waist of a multicolored knitted dress that she's wearing. Ruby's wearing sandals with a green heel and she has on red lips. Her and Christina's outfits are interesting to me because Ruby mentioned before that this is the hottest day of the year, so why Ruby is now wearing this knitted dress that's multicolored and loud and kind of abrasive is interesting to me. But I feel like, again, we see these wild patterns and colors when people are trying to kind of struggling to figure out their identity or just like what is going on in their life. Then we see Letty has changed clothes. She's wearing a black crop shirt, high-waisted, tight, white fitted pants, and black flats, and she's wearing a bright red lip. Dee is being followed by these Jig-a-Bobos that are wearing red Converse in these potato sack looking dresses, which I try to avoid as much commentary about the costume design of the show because I'm doing these videos, but I came across, I believe, an Instagram post from Dana Pink, and she mentioned that they're actually printed to look like potato sacks, but they weren't really potato sacks. Their hair is like covered with these red ties and they're just wearing these dresses. Now, the outfits are tattered. very tattered and worn. Montrose is in an orange knitted top and tan linen pants. Tig is in a white shirt and brown pants and brown mahogany shoes. Montrose is wearing brown shoes as well. Letty is now back in church wearing black and white just as last time, and I feel like this is her life is kind of chaotic again, but she wants things to be either it is or it isn't when it comes to her life. She wants to see things black and white. She doesn't really like to have that gray in between areas in her life.
The last outfit change we see in this episode is Christina's. She's now wearing muted natural colors, which is very different from the dark red and mauve we saw her wear earlier in this episode. She's wearing a cream button-up shirt and taupe linen pants. She's here to recreate Bobo's death in some evil way of trying to be sympathetic towards Ruby. This outfit to me shows she's trying to appear working class. Lastly, I wanted to point out that although Letty and Tig were experiencing a bit of strife in their relationship, their outfits now complement and are reflective of one another. To me, this shows they have somewhat of a yin and yang dynamic.
Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, and comment for more content. Thank you.